worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're flying anything.
I don't come visit your tub. Who will?
Would you like to know?
Keeping it together, Reed?
The bad things under the sand are dead, I think, but you smell funny. You smell of bad things. Maybe you killed the bad things, or maybe you are a bad thing. Go away, bad thing!
She crouches and growls.
Tell the magistrates. Then we can get them out, and you can get back to work.
What?
You, tell me, have you seen a man acting suspiciously near here? Grey cloak? You found him. Excellent. Now, stand aside. You, tell me, have you seen a man acting suspiciously near here? Grey cloak, grey beard, satchel slung over his shoulder?
At last! I was sure I'd die in that wretched place. You have my thanks. If not for you, I probably would have been found, gutted and salted. I can't just saunter away. Who knows what might be lurking in a place like this? But once I'm sure the way's clear, I'm running to Ox like a cat with its tail on fire. I'm done with this stinking town. I've been asking myself the same thing. I was just enjoying some stew in the tavern, reading over my latest acquisitions, and then I was surrounded by magister.
He hands you a damp scroll. In between the fish guts, it seems to give details of how to cast a powerful source spell.
Here, take it. That's the scroll that caused all this. I barely got out of there with my life. It must have belonged to one of their mission friends. They nearly lynched me then and there. They wouldn't listen when I tried to tell them that I got it from the cook. I thought she was an idiot selling it so cheap. Then again, I'm the dolt who ended up in a barrel. But if she has Magister artifacts, she must be the one they're looking for. Oh, of course. I mean, I'm not much of a sorcerer, but I have my connections. Hanag's a pretty powerful source master, incredible control of portals. I've never seen anyone bend space like she can. Last I heard, she was holed up in a house out in Paradise Downs, the farms to the north. There's more than a few magisters around those parts, though. She might still be there, might not. But I pity any red cloak that gets on her bad side. I swear, once I get to Ox, I'm going to have the bath of my life.
If you see anything...
Ain't no one been standing together. Glad to hear you say it.
met me as a lone wolf. But did I ever tell you of my past in the Divine Order? Well now, how's my favorite Godwoken? An old lone wolf colleague of mine in disguise. Callow. He's hunting Godwoken, but don't worry. I didn't tell him our little secret. Poor fellow'd have an attack of the bloody flux if he knew what was really going on. Don't worry. I'm not going to hand you in for the bounty. Sure, you could do the very same to me. I think we should know who hunts us, and why. Just play it cool. We go in, we get answers, we leave. Nothing more to it than that.
From the glint in his eye and the wicked smile he wears, you can tell he speaks in jest.
All right. It has the potential to get messy. Very messy indeed. But I've got...
Ifan smiles and... Ifan looks uneasy, even hangdog.
Ever tell you I worked with Lucian? Fact is, I was once pretty high up in his Divine Order. He was a good man.
He closes his eyes as he speaks, forehead creasing with effort.
You know sacrifices had to be made during the war? Well, Lucian knew he needed to use death fog to eliminate the Black Ring. But doing that would kill the elves also. So he came up with a plan. I was to hurry through the forests with a rift portal for the elves, so they could escape before the death fog exploded. But something went wrong. I was too late. The death fog exploded just as I arrived, and the elves were... Trying isn't enough, and I won't rest until I know why Lucian didn't wait. Anyway, let's keep moving. There's no gains to be had wallowing in the past.
Just when I think this land holds and still. At least this is an interesting variation on Dismal.
Rubbish.
Dead. Bled dry. Did the creature in the cellar do this?
You're safe among friends. Never forget.
Do you ever think about running off? History? History is written by victors. Do not
Look who's come to join the party. Oh, but you do get around, don't you?
He takes a satisfied sniff and rubs his hands together. His lips stretch into a mischievous smirk.
When it comes to graveyards, I'm a kid in a candy shop. All sorts of goodies and gewgaws for the taking. And a bit of rousing conversation. If you know where to dig, that is. Ah, it's a quandary, you see. I'm not exactly welcome in the Stone Garden. The servants that tend the graves, well, their master, this Riker fellow, caught me nosing around, so he had them chase me off. The spirits within are particularly feisty as well. Can't say why. I'm as gentle as can be. Alas, I'm stuck sniffing out herbs and fungi on the outskirts.
He presses a forefinger against his chin and hums.
This is when having access to a Godwoken might come in handy. You see, beyond the gates, there's something that my heart, such as it is set on. Oh my, just adorable you are. I dare say you'll enjoy this story. Somewhere in this graveyard lies an object of tremendous power. Or so the legends say, anyway. Belonged to a family buried near here, the Surreys. I've been reading up on them. An ancient clan of eccentrics and oddballs. Fascinating people, truly. Old Joanna was the last. The poor dear. Had no money, no children, just this incredible heirloom passed down to her through the generations. Problem is, no one knows what this object is. Only that it's an astounding piece of work. Seems Joanna took its secrets to her grave. Rather literally.
His coy grin freezes.
Hours spent on scholarship are never hours wasted.
Tarquin sighs, and his lips unfreeze. For a moment, he looks almost modest.
It pains me to say, but you've talents in the adventuring department that I do not. This heirloom could prove valuable for both of us. I've told you everything you need to... everything I know. What it is doesn't matter. What it does... well, if I am right, it will clean up quite an unholy mess. A mess we're both currently mired in.
He looks toward the graveyard.
Let's make this easy. I'll assume you've accepted my mission. You'll assume I give it in good faith. Beautiful. The Surrey tomb must be somewhere nearby. And whatever that object is in there, I bet it's impressive. I do wish I could wander inside. It would be nice to look up some old friends. See if they're in good spirits. So close, yet so far away. Ah, you again. Any luck in old Lady Surrey's poor thing? Feeling your advancing age, are you? No matter. I don't mind repeating myself if I must. I'll even use language any simpleton can understand. Find the tomb where Joanna Surrey is buried. Retrieve the mysterious heirloom that was buried with her. Bring it to me.
Tarquin sighs.
I hate to sound so condescending, but sometimes it pays to be straightforward. I'm sure you agree. Do enjoy yourself in the crypts, for the both of us.
The dead here stir. I hear their whispers.
Stoneguard,
So many
be
tales.
welcome.
So many memories buried in the soil.
At first glance, the spirit seems much like its host. Hollow, detached, yet in its eyes you see something more ominous, something not apparent before. Agony. The spirit nods, and its face grows even more tortured. It is trapped. By what or by whom, you cannot say.
Spirit's as haunted as the graveyard it roams.
The spirit does not respond to your presence.
Let's see what spirits haunt this garden.
This grave marker is old. Whatever name was once carved upon it is no longer legible. You recognize the dog from the town square in Driftwood. The wounds from his spiked collar are healing well.
Oh, hi! How are you? I'm good. Hey, do you smell that? It smells like the fish place, doesn't it? Like fish, only, worse. Okay, bye!
The elements have made it impossible to make up the name upon this grave marker. At first glance, the spirit seems much like its host. Nothing happens.
The spirit's as haunted as the graveyard it roams.
Ah, you again. Any luck in old Lady Surrey's tomb? Oh, goodness. The disappointment is clouding your... Take a few deep breaths and give it another go.
The name upon the old grave marker can no longer be made out.
Human graves. Let's hope none are... Careful! I've spotted a trap.
If graves you dig, I'll warn you now. Beware the creak and then the click. Then comes the bang, then comes the bang! Close your eyes and listen.
Here lies the
Secundia
memories
Pruitt,
play out
wife
before
to
you
the first
in
of
darkest
Driftwood's
black.
bridge masters,
The sound
and
alone
scourge
relates
of
the
the
recalcitrant traveller. A self-styled archaeologist, some would call you a grave robber, you found the grave of Baron Wilmart Hogg IV. Your footsteps crunch light upon the gravel as you approach the tomb. You know that Hogg was avaricious, paranoid, and cruel, and you yourself value the first of these two traits most highly. You ease your way up to the grave and run your hand around the lid, searching for a trap. You find nothing. The wind whispers in the trees, and the grass rustles quietly. You slide the lid open with a creak, click. Uh-oh, you think. Bang! The silence of the night is rent with a sound of screaming. You're screaming as you burn to death.
Commiserations, she says. I knew the risks. If graves you'd open, beware the creak, and then the click. Then comes the bang. Then I have only one regret. I didn't get the loot. I didn't get the loot. First came the creak, and then the click. Then came the bang, then creak, click, bang.
Careful! I've spotted a trap.
You were kind and honest and devoted to your dog. But you came a-knocking here in search of work, and the dog took a fancy to the man of the house. Your own dog turned on you and tore you down. The lizard hums tunelessly, not a melody exactly, but more of a meandering moan.
10 spans under, humans slept. 10 spans up, the dwarves were kept. Lizards burned in lasting flame. Elven trees towards skies did aim. Keeping watch, tending graves.
She ekes out a few more notes, then smiles at you with the innocence of a newborn.
It helps me remember where the dead go. Sometimes they don't stay where I put them. That's okay.
She flinches as you move closer.
No touching.
Her humming fades. The eerie silence lasts for several seconds.
Riker might get mad. He doesn't like it when someone touches his things.
She shivers and whispers.
Powerful sorcerer. Lives here, right in the garden. He can take the you from you. No brain, just body.
She points at her head.
The servants, they got nothing up there. Riker has it all now. They need to be freed. Only way, kill Riker. The servants, so lost, chained by Sorcerer Riker, but they can still go home to the hall. Set them free.
The ensuing silence lasts for several seconds, until she picks up the melody once again and turns away. Here lies an unnamed child of the Harkwood family. Here
Their
lies
sorrows
Final
know no
Surrey,
bounds.
whose family's generous patronage helped build these burial grounds, and who refused to be buried in the Surrey crypt. Here lies Galen Heavendale, a lost soul, executed in his prime, aged 19.
She's always a warm sight in weary times.
She's as close to a guardian angel as gets out here.
Another statue in the stone garden. Nothing more or less.
The creature barely notices your presence.
A grand altar indeed. A grand altar indeed. Lizard death rites are nothing if not dramatic.
The spirit cannot speak, or perhaps choose.
Can't talk now.
The spirit sings a long-forgotten tune in a long-forgotten language. One, it seems, with the ever-revolving wheels of space and time. boots are resplendent with polished ivory, heavy but well made, fit for a noble. The air around you glows with sudden heat. Specks of ash fall from the sky, summoning a fractured memory. Dig, work, deeper. By the Empress's order, you have to go deeper. As the memory fades, ghostly flames flicker on the surface of the polished sabatons.
I see you. You have the strength I've been looking for. Patience. You must prove yourself worthy of such answers. Find where the archaeologist cut into the earth. I will draw strength from there to speak again.
The voice vanishes, but the bone-deep longing remains. You must dig in the east. You must. A terrible chill pervades the air as the ashen vision fades. Someone new is watching you.
It's hard not to feel some pride in reptilian engineering. I watched an elf spend hours trying to force his way into a lizard's chest. Eventually, he threw it into the flames. But still it sits there, indestructible. He did not leave empty-handed, unfortunately. I pity the poor salamander that he dragged back to his ghastly home.
The spirit cannot speak, or perhaps... The spirit of a dwarf frowns at you, suspicion drawing the lines of his face deep.
I don't hear any pickaxes. No shovels. Where are my lazy diggers? We can't be wasting time. The Empress will have me head, and then all of yours. You don't know the Outlaw Empress? She'd gut you for the disrespect. So best get digging before she gets back. The site's close. It has to be. There's more stones to break, more earth to turn. We need to get there.
Look at all these bones. I've spotted something.
This is no time for idle chit-chat.
Still stuck. Ugh, there must be another one. I've spotted something.
Shut tight. It's shut tight.
Ugh, it's shut tight. Oh, it's shut tight.
shut tight.
Ugh, it's shut tight.
It's shut tight.
It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism.
It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism.
What did that do? Maybe this one? A different approach is in order. What did that do? Ugh, it's shut tight. It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism.
Shut tight.
What did that do? Maybe this one? Ugh, it's shut tight.
It's shut tight.
I think a different approach is in order.
It's shut tight. shut tight.
What did that do? It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism. What did that do?
It's shut tight.
That's not really what I had in mind. What did that do?
It's shut tight.
Maybe this one. That could have gone better. Maybe this one. What did that do? It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism. Maybe this one. I think a different of maybe this one. It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism.
A man's spirit stands before you, clad in... Who has taken my books? My notes? Sweet Armadia.
Quit your spitting! There's work to be done at the dig. Where's your shovel?
Rufus, am I dreaming? How could we be together after... The chronicler shudders, looking sick to his... Again. This again. I sleep, then when we were in Reaper's Eye. When I saw those tomes but the vision always fades. Why can't I escape? Why is there never a way out? Me? I archived Rivellon's history. A lizard empress she told me the design was brilliant. If it wasn't for me, the armor wouldn't exist at all. If I knew the way, I'd shout until...
Quit idling! We have to dig.
The chronicler puts his head in his hands, collapsing in silence.
Maybe this one? What did that do? What did that do?
Not really what I had in mind. What did that do? What did that do? Hear that? It did something.
Shame. All this wealth's just been going to waste.
You feel the unusual object's vast energy before your hand even touches its smooth surface. Upon contact, the semi-transparent artifact shivers and speaks. You know this language. It is an archaic tongue spoken only by demons for untold eons.
When as one, I am slayer of sin and the bane of the living. Restore my twin, make me whole. In archive of old the blade resides, an isle of blood where demons abide.
The object repeats its cryptic remarks. The oblong object is crystal clear and unmarked by marks or chips. It rests snugly in your palm, as if meant to be gripped with a resolute hand.
Won't budge. What the hell? We're trapped.
You feel the unusual object's vast energy. Before you feel you've heard this language.
Adan, Falon Dumora.
The object repeats its unintelligible speech. The oblong object is crystal clear and unmarked by marks or chips. It rests snugly in your palm, as if meant to be gripped with a resolute hand. You feel the unusual object's You know this language. It is an archaic.
When as one, I am slayer of sin.
The object repeats its cryptic. The oblong object is crystal clear.
dead. Well, more dead.
Unlike so many other spirits, this one is hardly silent. She clicks and squawks the moment you approach her, like a cornered crow facing down a hungry owl.
Are you the new servant, then? A pity. Seems the standard is plummeting quickly. You brought my tea, have you?
The spirit takes the invisible cup from you and takes a sip of non-existent liquid.
I've tasted better brews, but from the look of you, the refreshments won't be improving.
She waits a moment.
You expecting a tip? Well, here's one. Soap. Use it. That old thing, it was passed to me by my father, Johannius. And my father's father, Johannius. And my father's 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 father, Johannius. Don't know what happened to the one in the middle. Don't rightfully know what it's supposed to do. Johannius, the umpteens, brought it back from Blood Moon Island. I thought it might be good for stirring stew, but the cook gave it back. Said it made her feel funny. Whatever that...
The spirit stands there smiling, utterly oblivious to her own outburst, leaving you to ponder the strange words she shouted. Mamtenem rnekt udil.
What just happened? You mean my display of proper posture and etiquette? The benefits of charm school, I don't expect you'd qualify. Hurry back. The eyebrows still need plucking. You're back! Good. I'm ready for my tweet.
Just when I think this land holds... Still. At least this is an interesting
This thing speaks to me. But what is it trying to say? Something so peculiar is probably particularly dangerous.
Wild guess here, but I'll wager this relic will turn out useful for killing. Somehow.
My tongue! It's speaking the language of the Eternals. I mean, it is gibberish, but such beautifully phrased gibberish.
You again. Any luck in old Lady Surrey's tomb?
He places his hand on the artifact, and it drones in its strange language. Adan, Shvalondumora Vavur Rivilis, Awanu Ari, Demchu Shan. The object continues. Sarden Menia Veet Feln, Dom Drisval Veet Evdekais.
It's true then. Anathema. Within reach. Tell me, is this all there was? There weren't any other curios in there? Amazing, but not unexpected.
He breathes a long, lugubrious sigh.
It's time I leveled with you. This is the hand grip of the fabled anathema. A sword capable of annihilating anyone. Even a divine. Imagine it. Holding in your hand a force that could wipe away sun and shadow. A sword of life and death, miracle and sin. A sword of atonement. I can restore anathema to working condition, but this is only half of it. We still need the blade. How fortunate that the hilt has already told us where to find it. Blood Moon Island. Isle of Vaults, yada yada yada, pre-Surrey, and so on and so forth. Wow. And it even revealed an exact location. I'll mark it on your map. An exorcised demon living in a sword of glass. The hilt was brought here by one of the many Surreys. Not surprised. None of them sound too bright. I can't imagine having even half a demonic sword around was very healthy for that feeble-minded family. They probably winced whenever a black cat came around. Well, you may not always have the smarts, but you've sure got the spirit. Blood Moon Island awaits, my friend. It's a bit of a jaunt, but this gives me time to prepare my workspace. We'll catch up on the Lady Vengeance, yes?
Tarquin doesn't wait for an answer. His attentions are already turned elsewhere.
Second time's a charm? Or have I asked too much of you? I do hope I've not been overestimating your intelligence. Anathema's blade. By the weapon's own admission, it's to be found somewhere in Blood Moon Island. Well, I'll be around and about. Second time's a charm? Or have I asked too much of you? Second time's a charm? Or have I asked too much of you?
A stone king. Just as effective as a real one, I reckon.
Ugh, this flesh is well past ripe. Whatever memories it once held are now gone. Ugh, this flesh...
Here lies Old Man Malik. No dancing on this grave.
Pure grace in an undeserving world. An ancestor, the spirit of the tree may have much to say. The spirit of the tree may have much to say.
The spirit ignores your presence, busy as it is resisting the pull of another, the ancestor tree, trying to take its source. All you feel is the spirit's resistance, and its anger, directed at the mother tree that has betrayed it. The spirit ignores your presence, busy as it is resisting the pull of another. The spirit ignores your presence. The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep underground to the surface above and beyond, but this tree feels tainted. You are a scion of the elves. The mother tree demands your blood. You do not have a choice. She has a plan, and you must serve her with your death. You heed your mother's wishes and take root. But then you hear a voice, a friendly whisper from beyond. The voice knows you, he understands you, he loves you. He offers you your freedom and asks but one small service in return. Grateful, you accept. In an instant, you are an elf once more, walking in the world. But your new friend begins to make demands. Small services, then larger and more often. They cause you pain. At last, he bids you guard your tree. He expects you shall have guests. You shall kill the Godwoken when they come. Then you shall be free. The thought occurs. The sign replaced one bad deal with another.
That story hits a little too close to home. Poor luckless fool.
The spirit ignores your
Come down, Godwoken! Come, decay!
An undead elf steps from the shadows. He looks powerful, but when he speaks, he is in pain.
Welcome, Godwoken, to your grave. I promised you decay. I decay. But if I serve, I grow again. I shall serve him. You must die. He is my friend. He is your king. He wants your decay. Rise, root and branch. Obey your scion. Defeat my enemy.
The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep under. You are a scion of the earth. But then you hear a voice, a friendly whisper from beyond. The voice knows you. He understands you. Grateful, at last he bids you guard your...
ready. I'll yield.
Rise, my rotten army! Rise!
need aid!
The tree sits lifeless now, bereft of memory, its source gone forever. Dead wood now, it shall fade into the past. The tree sits lifeless now, bereft... The spirit looks forlorn, exhausted, spent. Nothing remains of the life you led. The long years after death, resisting the tree as it tried to take your source, have left you with little more than an overwhelming sense of betrayal. Relief flows through you. The spirit slips away. The spirit looks angry. You have been a spirit for a very long time indeed. This afterlife has been spent resisting the pull of the ancestor tree that wants your source. You've always hated the scion of the tree for seeking your destruction. Once he served the hated mother tree. You hate her too, but now the scion has taken a darker path. But he still wants your source. Relief flows through you as a realization grows. You may leave. The spirit slips away. A wave of relief washes off the spirit. Relief tempered with disgust. You are an elven spirit. Who you were in life is now forgotten. You have spent the years resisting the pull of the ancestor tree. It would steal your source. This source you would gladly give to the mother tree. But not this traitor. This scion has betrayed the elves. This scion has taken a darker path. This scion wants your source for someone or something else. This, you think, is what happens when the scions don't get proper training. Relief flows through you as you realize that you may leave. Your thoughts flash to the mother tree by the water on an island with no name. The spirit slips away. The servant grumbles. The spirit does not talk to you, though the pain in its eyes is all too apparent. The graveyard's death chill fades, leaving within you only hope and forgiveness.
I've spotted something.
These are lizard remains, but in the human section of the graveyard, something's amiss.
Vilnix Kriva. Almost sounds like a lizard name. But here...
You there! Help me, please!
You struggle to focus on the so-called healer looking down at you. Nothing but a human quack. The end is near. You can sense it. You croak out a last plea, to be burned in the lizard tradition. But it only comes out as an unintelligible squeak. The human frowns in confusion. Everything goes dark.
You savage! I hope you choke on me!
The statue, you are relieved of...
I've spotted something. These are lizard remains, but in the human section of the graveyard, something's amiss.
Vilnix Kriva. Almost sounds like a lizard name. But here...
You there! Help me, please! Some thoughtless fool buried me in this grave to be left as fodder for the worms. I can't be at peace in a place like this. I have to be put to rest according to lizard The eternal fire burns in the lizard quarter of the cemetery. I beg you, cast my remains into the fire. Set my spirit free. I will never know peace otherwise. Good. Now take it to the eternal fire. Burn it and free me. My remains have still not been consumed by the eternal fire. Only...
You have done me a great service, friend. Now, the Hall of Echoes beckons.
I've spotted something.
The headless statue looms over you. Its plinth bears the same rotation scratches as its counterpart. The plinth of the statue bears a series of deep, circular scratches upon its stone. The statue can be rotated. The sculpture looks impossibly heavy, yet turns with little effort. The sculpture looks impossibly heavy, yet turns with little effort. The sculpture looks impossibly... A lonely traveller did pass. We found her lying in the grass. We saw the smile upon her face and gave her a final resting place. Jeffrey, first name unknown, and of no further use. Does not respond to your The servant responds with a... Here lies Zebedee Harron. Would sell his granny, but at the fairest of prices. Here rests some of Granson Lock. May the rest of him find peace. The headless statue looms over you. Its plinth bears the same rotation scratches as its counterpart.